It would probably make this series a little bit better if I had like a 15-minute themes or 15-second theme song to kind of start it off, but I don't because this show has absolutely no budget. But I wanted to kind of go ahead and do another episode tonight in which I talk to you about documentaries because documentaries are a whole different kind of film altogether, and at the same time, they're incredibly fascinating. So the first one that I'm going to talk to you about is a documentary called The Times of Harvey Milk. Now, this documentary won Academy Awards, uh, but it's good regardless of that. It's well put together. It's narrated by Harvey Firestein, who you probably remember from roles like Mrs. Doubtfire, and he also said the infamous line, "I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?" in his very unique voice. Um, and it basically talks about the life and times of Harvey Milk going back all the way to his childhood, up through his career and his times, describing his personality, going with interviews with different people throughout his life at different points. And it really summarizes who he is and really lets you know that he was a pretty cool guy, um, and he was really trying to do a lot of good for the city of San Francisco and for the gay community around the world. And it tells you also a lot about the turbulent times and the different people that were involved in the political scene at that time. So it really gives you an interesting insight into politics in case you don't really understand how politics works uh, circa 1980 onward, uh, where it did really change uh, in a lot of ways. Some good, some bad. Uh, yeah, so The Times of Harvey Milk. Check it out. It's available online to watch for free in some places. Uh, you'll really have to hunt for it, but I'm not going to make it easy because it used to be on Hulu. It's not anymore. It used to be on YouTube. It's not anymore. I had to hunt for it to find it for a friend, um, and it may be off there in no time. But it's all legal, so find it if you can. But it's a great movie, well worth shelling out some money to buy it even. Um, Next, I also watched a documentary, also in the gay and lesbian genre, called By the Way, B-I the Way. And it talks all about the role of bisexuality. A lot of it kind of comes in the aftermath of the now probably long forgotten kiss between Britney Spears and Madonna at the MTV Music Awards way back in, I think it was 2003 or 2005 or something, you know. Um, anyway, it was filmed in 2005, I believe, and it does a really good job of dissecting what bisexuality is, exploring it, and telling some of the personal stories of people who are uh, openly or in the closet about their bisexuality. And it's just kind of an interesting uh, thing in the documentary genre because it tries to remain somewhat objective. It does talk to people, who are authorities on history and biology, and it does kind of make the case that, bisexuality is perfectly natural, and, that's their right to express. Um, if you don't agree with it, that's fine, but it's worth watching, and that is available right now on Netflix to watch, and I highly recommend it just because it's an entertaining and informative documentary. Um, Shoot, I gotta think of what I had next up. Um, of course, we've probably all seen Morgan Spurlock's infamous Supersize Me, which I think was actually quite an excellent documentary um, because it just did a wonderful job of kind of showing uh, the what goes into your food and how even just cooking for yourself, cooking all natural stuff, or even just putting together like a sandwich for yourself uh, with like good stuff in it for you can really be helpful. You know, getting fresh ingredients, it's all good. So uh, it's led me to make some more health conscious choices in my life. Um, like if I have to eat like vegetarian or I have to eat um, fast food or something, I try and take a vitamin so that I'm still getting some nutrition. And I try and curb back on my portion sizes. I get smaller drinks, um, that sort of thing. And I limit my intake of caffeine and sugar, that kind of stuff. So you know, documentaries are really good because they can affect your life for the better in that way. Um, and shoot, I'm trying to think of what other documentary I was trying to think of for you guys to talk about. But, um, oh, poop on a poop stick. That'll be my catchphrase for now. Um, yeah. I watch a lot of documentaries just because, it's kind of like reading an autobiography. It can be really fascinating. But another one I saw was Michael Palin from Monty Python. He, of course, does a lot of documentary shows. And in the early 2000s, he, well, the mid 2000s maybe, he did a show called Michael Palin's New Europe. And in that, he traveled all around the former Soviet bloc, uh, from Yugoslavia up all the way to Germany, and just looked at all these areas that were once under Soviet rule and we never had a chance to really see. And now we get to find out, oh, these places are really cool, and these places are really crazy, and we get to kind of go with him on fun little adventures all throughout the countryside and throughout the urban landscapes of these areas. And we get to meet all kinds of people in those areas too. So I would recommend you see that documentary series. That's a series of hour-long specials that he made for the BBC, and were also shown, I believe, on PBS. One I don't recommend you see is Penn and Teller's Magical Mystery Tour, I think it's called. Um, it's not really very good, and I'm actually a fan of Penn and Teller's program on Showtime Network um, that I can't say really on YouTube because it is a curse word, but its initials are BS. And anyway, the Magical Mystery Tour uh, documentary sucks. It it's basically them going to Egypt. They don't really go anywhere else. Um, they go to Egypt, and I think maybe once, maybe they go to India, but I don't even think they do that. Uh, and they document their travels trying to find the roots of some different magic tricks, but they don't really find anything very satisfying along the way. They just kind of head back empty-handed, and while they're talking about that, they talk about how they just eat tuna fish and canned goods and things like that, and only drink bottled water. And that's just like, okay, so why are you making a documentary about this? This is not an interesting topic. So that's it for this episode of Film Recommendations, talking all about documentaries, and maybe we'll do another episode featuring this subject in the future. Um, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and vote if you like it. If you don't like it, please don't vote, just because, you know. Anyway, so that's all for now. Bye bye.